What's going on, guys? So today I'm showing you some silver that I bought on Facebook Marketplace. And before I start, I have to say this whole little intro I did like 30 times because every time I flung it, it would just go off screen in every single direction until the last take, which worked out fine. So here we are with the intro done. So yeah, I bought some silver on Facebook Marketplace. I was just kind of like looking around on Facebook, just because I was curious. It just popped in my head. I'm like, you know, people, where are different sources for local silver? You know, obviously there's silver, or coin shops, I would say, that sell silver. You know, you can go on eBay and maybe pick it up locally if you just do that for a search. People who are selling things on eBay that are within a certain driving distance that's appropriate for yourself to actually make your time worth it. But I thought Facebook, you know, people buy crap on Facebook all the time. You know, a bunch of used crap, Facebook Marketplace, right? So it just like dawned on me, I haven't looked on there to see if people are selling silver and gold. So I popped on there and I found pretty much what I thought I would find. Not a whole lot. At least in my area, it definitely would change depending on where you live. I don't live with a very populated, you know, in a city or anything like that. So there's just not a whole lot of people that are literally local to me that sell stuff like this. So while I was still looking on Facebook Marketplace, I was looking at different options for people who ship. And I basically saw a bunch of like, I mean, there was probably a handful of people who actually had like some real silver. I didn't really find any gold except for a 1/10 ounce round that was way overpriced. I don't know if the person knows what they had or what they thought they had, but it was like literally almost twice the value of what you could buy it online. So that was not an option at all. There was one other person that had like 2 or 3 different silver rounds, but again, they were asking like 4 times what they're worth. And then I came across this guy. So this is a just a round. So it's not, you know, any kind of minted currency or anything. So the difference between a round and a coin is made by a government that has a face value for money. All right, so it happens to be silver or it happens to be gold, but it's literally money that's supposed to be used, or at least that's why it's made. And most people don't use it like that. You know, you don't take a silver eagle and use it as a dollar, obviously. But that's the difference. A coin is real money that's used in a government, in a country, whereas a round is basically just a piece of art, essentially. And by the way, rounds could be bars. A bar, a silver bar or a gold bar, is technically just a different type of round. It's just rectangular or square or whatever shape it happens to be. Anything that's not a coin is considered a round. Long story short, this is basically just a little commemorative piece. All right, so here's a closer look at this beautiful little round here. So you can see the Giants helmet right in the middle. You can see 1 troy ounce, 999 fine silver. All right, you can see Super Bowl XXV champions. XXV stands for 25. It's the Roman numeral. As you know, if you don't watch football, that's what we do. The Super Bowl is always a Roman numeral. And it says 1990, which is a little confusing because if you don't watch football, the season usually ends, and then the next year is when the Super Bowl, you know, happens. So if you look up the 1990 Super Bowl, it's not the Giants. It was like San Francisco 49ers and someone. So technically, this took place in 1991, but it's the 1990 season, the NFL season. And on the back here is Giant Stadium, which I think is pretty cool because I've been there multiple times. I've probably been to maybe 5 or so football games there, all to see the Giants play. My father worked with a guy in the 90s who was a season ticket holder, all right? But he never watched the preseason games. So like 4 out of the 5 games I've been to were all preseason games. And half the games the Giants won, half of them they lost, which is not so fun. But either way, it was cool spending that time with my dad at a football game. And I feel blessed because a lot of people love to go to a football game and just can't make it happen. Hopefully I'd like to go in the future. My brother-in-law is a huge Giants fan and has never been to see like an actual NFL game in a stadium. So I'd like to make that happen for him in the future sometime. It'd be pretty cool. There is the motif on the coin. So obviously the Giants won. They won the Super Bowl that year against, I believe it was the Buffalo Bills. Now in 1991, I was 7 years old, you know, so, you know, I don't remember the game specifically. It wasn't until later games that I really like remember watching the games, later Super Bowls that they won when they beat the Patriots twice. I was there. I do remember those games. But anyway, I thought it was really cool. So the price on this, the asking price was $40. Now, it's not ridiculous or anything. You know, $40 for a round that has some kind of special meaning to you, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. The silver price is going up right now, but keep in mind when people buy rounds, they don't have much of a premium. It's not like a coin where you take the actual value of how much silver is here. This is 1 troy ounce of silver, and you know its value really is the price of silver. You know, the price of silver has been going up the last, few days. Obviously, the conflict in, Ukraine with Russia and all that kind of stuff is driving metals prices up. But normally I wouldn't pay more than like $30 for something like this. And this person wasn't anywhere near me. They were actually in Jersey, which makes total sense. But I was not going to drive down to Jersey where they were to pick this up. So I knew that if they were going to sell it to me, they'd have to ship it to me and it'd be even more money. So what I did was I lowballed them. I offered them, I think it was $25, just to feel it out. Hey, would you take $25? And it was an old guy who was selling it, much older gentleman. And he said, thanks, but no, I can't do $25. The price is $40. So I said, okay, how about $35? And, a day or two went by and he saw the message and he wrote back like, oh, thanks, but no, the price is $40. So at that point, I'm like, and I'm kind of thinking about this one, over the course of 4 or 5 days, because he wasn't answering messages right away. And I was really thinking about it. I'm like, I don't want to pay that much. I don't want to pay $40 for that. And I was thinking, I really like it. I really do like it. It's not something I'm going to randomly find somewhere. I can tell you that after the fact, I did see them on eBay. So if this is something you like you're a Giants fan, they do have this, not only this year, but they do have other years on eBay for about the same price, about $40 in and around. So just throwing it out there, it's not like they're impossible to find. But at the time, on Facebook, I'm thinking, I'm not going to run into this anytime soon. I really want this. I don't want to regret not getting it. I think it's cool. It means something to me. Obviously, I love silver, but it's special. When you get those rounds, like a lot of people focus on, whatever they're into. If you're into Marvel, you get all the Marvel characters. You know what I'm saying? If you're into Disney stuff, that's huge. A lot of Disney silver rounds. It's just they're fun things that people like in real life. So then they translate that to their hobby. So if you love Disney and you love Donald Duck, and you love silver, and you see a silver piece with Donald Duck on it, your two loves, they kind of combine. So that's what happens. And there's a lot of collectible silver out there that has all these characters and sports teams and different things that give you an emotional reaction to it. Like Superman or Wolverine, or like I said, Donald Duck, or I don't know, something with hearts on it and you love hearts or whatever it is. You have to keep in mind what drove me to this is the fact that it had a Giants helmet on it. It's like as soon as I saw the listing, I put it in my favorites right away. I was really thinking about it. I'm like, I really want that. If this had a picture of a salad on it, I would never pay $40 for it. Now, I'm not against salad. I love salad. But I don't particularly have a need to have a coin with a picture of salad on it. But this has an emotional response because I love the Giants, and all the games I watch with my dad and my family and stuff, and so it's special. It makes it extra special to me. So after the second try at lowballing, I said, all right, fine, I'll take it for $40. And I said, but you're a little far to meet up for a drive. Would you be willing to ship it? And he said, sure, I'll ship it for $5. Nothing special, just throw it in a little pad envelope and just send it, snail mail or whatever. Because he's in Jersey, neither one of us thought it would take all that long to get here. So I thought, all right, no big deal. It's $45, which again is overpaying for this particular round. Most people, especially if you're not into football, especially if you're into football and you're not a Giants fan, like if this was a random, Broncos or Jets or, an old Colts or something like that. If it was a different NFL team, I'd have no interest. I love the NFL. I love watching all the games. I don't just watch Giants games. I watch all the football games I can. But the emotional connections to my team. This is my team. I grew up in New Jersey. This is the unofficial Jersey team. Yes, to the New York Giants. They might as well be the New Jersey Giants, right? The New Yorkers have the Jets. And I'm sure if you're a New Yorker and you like the Giants, you might be disagreeing with that. But, technically they're in Jersey. But anyway, I'm not going to argue about that. But yeah, I'm a huge Giants fan. That was the connection. I really wanted it. I didn't think I'd come across it any other time. So I overspent on it. Overspent. Now, I use quotes there because, whatever it's worth to me is what I'm willing to pay for it. I was willing to pay $45 to have it shipped to me. And I'm happy with that. I have no regrets at all. What was actually really cool is at the end of the day, after I bought it and everything and he shipped it, I said, hey, I got it. Just want to say thanks again. And he said, thank you for donating to whatever it was, a clothing drive and an animal shelter. And I'm like, what? Like, I didn't know that. He was selling stuff, including this, to raise money for an animal shelter and a clothing drive, which is extremely nice. It was a really nice thing. I had no idea. But he basically just he didn't like pitch this. I don't think it was in the listing of, hey, the money's going to go to charitable, things. But that's a nice little bonus. It makes me feel even better that I overpaid because technically it was a charitable donation. And this guy was pretty cool. I don't know where he got it. I don't know if it was something that was his or if he just found stuff and he's selling it to raise money for these good causes. But I thought that was cool. It was a little bonus. So yeah, and it becomes tax deductible because it's a charitable donation. Technically. Anyway, I thought it was cool. I wanted to, share my experience here with buying on Facebook. I bought on Facebook. I would definitely not do that consistently. I will tell you, I saw fake gold and fake silver on there. There was a couple, what were they? They were bars. I want to say they were fake Scottsdale Mint. That's what it was. It was fake Scottsdale Mint bars, 1 ounce bars. And the bars say, 1 OZT, 999 fine or whatever, but it's really just stainless steel bars that have a very thin silver plate on it. And you'll see the prices on there, like, normally a Scottsdale bar like that would run you, 28 bucks, 30 bucks, maybe even a little bit more. But people are selling them for like 8 bucks, 10 bucks or whatever. It's just, again, there's so many sites, like, what is it, AliExpress and all these, overseas websites that sell just counterfeit everything, and they do it with silver too. You see it with knives all the time, but they do it with fake silver and fake gold, and they sell for like nothing, and they're supposed to be like fun, collectible, commemorative pieces. That's total BS. And especially a place like Facebook, there's, I think, very few people who are selling precious metals on Facebook that have any real knowledge about precious metals. I think what happens is that someone might have passed away or something happened to someone and they're selling their stuff for them. They don't really know what it is. They look it up online. Maybe they think they have something that they don't. I don't think that there's too many sellers that are purposely trying to be deceitful, although that certainly exists as well. But I'd stay away from it. I don't think it's a good source for precious metals at all, not one bit. But I was curious, and like I said, when I saw this guy, I'm like, I had to have it. And it happened to be a very nice, genuine old man who happened to be selling it for charity. It worked out beautifully. So I feel good about overpaying for this piece of silver, which has a story behind it now. And I love the Giants. Big Giants fan. Which has been very hard the last couple of years. If you happen to be a Giants fan, you know that. We'll see what happens this season. They did a big overhaul. But yeah, I just wanted to share my experience. I can tell you the actual coin itself, it was in the original plastic. It's not like a flip because it's sealed, but part of the flip itself, like it's burned around like 80%. But the top part, if you can imagine, my fingers are the square here, right? It's totally sealed all around here, but the very top right here, it's open like that much. And it's not like it ripped open, it's purposely opened. I have no idea why, but that's where this coin, or I shouldn't say coin, it's where this round got toned. So you can see it's nice and shiny and everything, but literally where the package was opened, the top here has coloring, it's toning. Try to give you a good shot of it. Starts here on the edge a little bit, all right, the top. When the light hits it just right, it's a beautiful blue color. And, I don't mind toning on different rounds and different coins and stuff. You can see a little bit down there. On the back side, you can see it definitely some more right there. Again, sometimes when the light hits it's this really beautiful blue. It's kind of like almost like if you anodize, a knife or something. But that's why, because it was exposed to air just in that one spot. So like the guy was even apologizing. He was selling. He's like, it's dirty on the one corner. I can't get it off. Whatever. I tried to clean it. I'm like, don't worry about it. I kind of explained what it was. But yeah, it's no big deal. That's why I'm touching it. I don't really care. I mean, it'd be nice if this whole thing, eventually started toning up and stuff. It'd be cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my experience. Probably my first and last time buying precious metals on Facebook. It's just not a reliable source, and I would go as far as saying that most sellers have no idea what they have or its value. Prices could be all over the place, and the validity of whether it's real or not could be all over the place. You can have someone who had a father or a mother or a cousin or something passed away, and they just found this, and they think it's real, and they don't know, and then, you know, you're like, oh, you know, hey, you got fake silver, and then they get really upset because they take it personal, like, oh, my father would never buy something fake. You don't know. You know, people get duped all the time. It doesn't make them a bad person, and it doesn't make them stupid. People are just scammed all the time. Great, smart people are scammed. It just happens. You know, if you're not very, very knowledgeable about a specific thing, maybe you buy something and you think it's real and it's not. It happens all the time. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to share this little story with you guys. I purchased multiple things over Facebook Marketplace in the past. We got my wife's car, her little Honda Civic. She has a 98 Civic. We bought it on Facebook Marketplace like 3 years ago or something. You can see my video when I first showed it. I want to say it was like in and around 3 years or something. And we bought that car for $2,600. I think it was listed for 28, and we got down to 26 in and around. I'm going by my memory here. It was definitely less than 3K. We love it, and it's still running like a champ. I mean, she's had things break, and we keep fixing it, but you know, a 98 Honda Civic is not that expensive to fix, and that's one of the reasons why we end up getting it. But yeah, Facebook Marketplace could be a good place. You could find treasures. You know, there's a lot of people looking. Just like eBay, it used to be a little easier to find those hidden gems. These days, not as much. But you never really know. I do look for knives occasionally on there. And, you know, I never really find anything super exciting. Unfortunately, because it's Facebook Marketplace, they don't allow gun sales and stuff. Otherwise, we're looking on there. Even knives, a lot of times. Like, I've literally posted knives for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and those posts have been deleted. You know, Facebook, you know, basically smacks me on the hand and says, hey, what are you doing? You can't do that. You can't sell weapons. Sorry, buddy. No weapons here. Oh, what's with that person's 12-piece, you know, kitchen knife set? That's fine. Duh. That's for a kitchen. You couldn't possibly use a 9-inch chef's knife to hurt anyone, but your little 3-inch folding knife, well, that's just no go. So it's just weird. I don't understand the logic behind that, but I'm not going to get into a rant about it. You guys know the deal. But yeah, precious metals, I had an okay experience. It happened to work out for me. But I would stay away from places like that for precious metals. Buy it from reputable dealers online. You know, buy it from your local coin shops. That's probably your best bet. Even if you're like me and I don't have a local coin shop. My local coin shop is like 45 minutes away. But I will travel 45 minutes to go see what they have because I know it's legit. And again, love supporting small business. I don't mind that. I just happen to live out in the sticks a little bit. You know, it's not completely rural around here. It's definitely suburbia, but there's just nothing around. So I have to travel for everything. So it's not that big of a deal. I'm used to it at this point. But yeah, I mean, support locally. Not only are you not paying shipping prices, you know, but you can see the stuff in person. It's just like knives. When I made that video on JT's Knife Shop, I think it's awesome because there's locals that can physically go there to handle and look at knives they might want to buy. It's hard buying stuff online sometimes. You just don't know what you're going to get until you get it. You're just going by some pictures, you know. But specifically with precious metals, you have to be careful of the fake stuff out there, you know, and counterfeit things, and, you know, it's difficult. So Facebook, I wouldn't bother that if you're looking to get gold and silver. Buy from your coin shops or buy online if you really just can't get to a coin shop, or if your coin shops just don't have good prices. But I have to say, from everyone who I've talked to who buys from local coin shops, they've all had really good experiences, especially with their prices. And from my experience, and by the way, I'm hoping to make a video maybe in the future if they allow me to make a video there. I'd love to show that and give their location and tell people about them, bring them more business, and, you know, get them more customers, and get locals who live by me to have an option, you know, because people don't know about these places. You can look it up, Google it and stuff, but sometimes it's just nice to see a video. So hopefully I can get a video at one of the coin shops in the future. But it's just nice to see it in person. That's it. You just drive somewhere and just give someone money and take it home. Anyway, that's all. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.